Hello, everybody, and welcome to Fast Friday presented by Maconi Setup Shop. It's a beautiful little mixing pot today on the racetrack. We've got the new drafty version of Atlanta and the happy accident from iRacing with the Gen 4 Cup cars. Well, that means we are going to hear some big screaming motors, see some huge drafts, and of course hand out a Fast Friday checkered flag to one winner at the end. For those of you who haven't joined us here before, Fast Friday is a weekly series by Maconi Setup Shop featuring a varying track and car combination that is completely free to take part in. Yes, I said free to come and race here on the broadcast race every Friday afternoon. My name is Joey Atterbury, and joining me in the booth as always is Jake Reeves. Ryan Bauer working the controls is our producer, and he's using cameras provided by Dougie Beard. Jake, well, I mentioned it is a mixing pot today. This is kind of an unknown combo with the track and the car, but you can tell us about this track. It's kind of a home track for you.
Yeah, it actually is. I mean, Hampton, Georgia, Atlanta Motor Speedway. I've been going here for years. Matter of fact, I was at the first race with this type of configuration, the Super Speedway type of configuration back in 2022. William Byron won that race, but you know, this track has went through, you know, just in my opinion, the greatest renovation that you could ask for. I mean, a lot of people asked for the old type of asphalt, but the Super Speedway aspect of it, it just makes it so much better. And, you know, half a mile Super Speedway, I mean, it's awesome. And especially with these Gen 4 cars, we're going to see basically a dream, if you will. I mean, Gen 4 cars, the oopsie, all the way to the best thing. Like I said, I mean, I love this track. I love racing here with the Super Speedway package. And the track's actually narrowed up more and more with this renovation. I mean, the turns, it used to be 55 feet across, now it's 40 feet across. The backstretch was 55, now it's 42. So not as wide as it was. It's narrow. Super Speedway. It's going to be some tight racing right here, Joey.
One of that racing you were talking about, we are using the Gen 4 Cup cars, 60 laps or 55 minutes. No matter what, you're going to be able to make another race here in less than an hour if you come to Fast Friday. And of course, the one fast repair, just in case you get into any trouble, and we have been predicting that there will be trouble on the racetrack tonight. 3 green-white checkered attempts if we need it, and a custom fixed setup by Maconi Setup Shop as always. So that means the cars are going to be hooked up and hauling the mail out there. And something else that's pretty cool that we're going to be talking about right here is the Maconi Setup Shop 101. That is next Tuesday, July 25th. Go to enascar.com/live. You can catch the pre-race show that starts at 8:30 p.m. Eastern and the main race that starts at 9 p.m. Eastern. It is the Maconi Setup Shop 101. It is pretty good, pretty amazing stuff for Jeff that he continues to impress out here in the virtual world. And they work to deal with New Hampshire Motor Speedway in the real world, and an eNASCAR for giveaway, fan received tickets and VIP passes, plus $250 for the race in real life. Make sure to go over to enascar.com/live on July 25th and watch that pre-race show, and then watch the main race. Go support Maconi Setup Shop. Well, looks like we've got our starting grid already on the racetrack, and we're going to go run through at least the first 20 cars here that we've got going. It is Brandon Evans on pole position. No surprise there, always one of the fastest on the track. Daniel Molnick's going to be joining him on the front row. Jacob Malone in third, Joey Masevich fourth, Derek McNurky here in fifth, Donald Sadusky sixth, Mark Jackson in seventh, William Hale in eighth, Cody Giles in ninth, and Toll Owen round out the top 10.
Then you got Chase Willis going to be in 11th, Holden Cowser will be 12th, Joshua Crane going to be 13th, Preston McCauley is going to be 14th, going to be Blair Rasolet in 16th, or excuse me, he'll be in 15th. Stephen Bennett's going to be in 16th. Gary Flynn going to be in the 17th spot. The boss man, Jeffrey Maconi, going to be in the 18th spot. Thaddeus Marshall and Nick Miller, that's going to be the top 20.
Yeah, and we're just going to scroll through the rest of the 34 cars that have taken time here at Fast Friday. I just want to say thank you to everybody that has turned out today. I know that you guys love this race car, you love this racetrack, and Jake and Ryan, Jeff Maconi included, we love seeing a full field here at Fast Friday, and that isn't possible without you all coming to race with us. And speaking of fun stuff that we do here at Fast Friday, we actually choose via Twitter the car and track combination every week. So go make sure to follow along with the Maconi Setup Shop social media pages so you can have a vote, a say at what we do here on Fast Friday. And we also had a little bit of pop culture introduced to our Twitter page here this week. And Jake, why don't you take it away here about some Barbie stuff?
Yeah, there was a little bit of a Barbie Twitter thing that Maconi Setup Shop had on there. Had a vote for everybody's surprise, and a lot of votes actually, as we see it right here. 864 votes. With today the new Barbie movie being released, they had to ask, who is the iRacing sim world is the true embodiment of Kennergy. And out of nowhere, landslide, Jimmy Broadkent getting the 89.6%. Casey Kenwan's going to be 2.7. Max Verstappen, and then obviously we all embody Kennergy. So Jimmy Broadkent, if you're out there, you get a landslide victory in the votes right there. Once again, 868 votes. But here we go, Joey. We're getting ready to take the green flag.
I think Jimmy cheated a little bit. He shared that with his fan base. I mean, he was able to dominate that. But look at this. Green flag, a beautiful picture here at the Atlanta Motor Speedway at Fast Fridays. Brandon Evans in the number 39 leads a 34-car field off into turn one.
Beautiful sight, as you mentioned it, Joey. Full field right here, and everybody on Maconi Entertainment loving to see it. Brandon Evans, a sponsored driver for Maconi Setup Shop, going to get stuck in the middle. 3 wide. Molnick's going to be up top. Jacob Malone going to be down low.
He just got sandwiched and swallowed in the middle down the back straightaway, and ultimately it's Jacob Malone in the number 35 out front. And Brandon Evans, some problems. He goes through the grass. That's kind of the pass in the grass, but instead of passing, he's going the wrong way.
Yeah, he might have got hooked a little bit in the left rear. I mean, everybody really, really tight right there. You see Brandon holding it down the best that he can below that red line and not slide back up into the traffic. But up front, we got a change for the lead. Another sponsored driver from Maconi Setup Shop, Joey Masevich, going to the front.
He used a big-time push behind him, and Masevich now leads 3 wide off into turn number 1. It's Jacob Malone still fighting on the bottom. That's William Hale in the black and red, number 62. Also got Derek McNurky and also Donald Sandusky right there inside the top 5. But looks like this top groove is starting to carry a little bit more momentum than down low.
Yeah, and you better watch out for that 48 right there, Derek McMurtry. He's actually been very, very good at some of these tracks. Actually got a pole back at Chicagoland in the Xfinity Series. Not how he wanted that race to turn out, but check it out. This right here is a great sight right here to see that 48. You see it with the 48, the lows on it. Any NASCAR fan knows that when you see a 48 in the lows, your first image that you got in your head is Jimmy Johnson. And what he done here at Atlanta, not on this particular asphalt, but he done a lot of great things here in Atlanta.
Well, and it's a little bit confusing via time and scoring when you got 2 48 cars on the track, but only one of them shows up as a 48 on time and scoring. But look at that, that's a double lows car going on right now. I wouldn't want to look in my mirror and see Jimmy Johnson times 2, would you?
No, I mean, that's 14 championships right there in your mirror.
Yellow flag.
We have a caution. Big, big crash off of turn 4.
Yeah, I love that 14 championships. Yeah, we got an issue off of turn number 4. We got several cars involved in this one, trying to pick out exactly where it went wrong. I love this car. If you look at the taillights of this car, this looks like an old S13. I believe this is like, an old Nissan 240 SX. That's the old Nissan S13. Take me back to the old drifting days on that one. But looks like we've got our first yellow flag. But Jake, Ryan, we were both wrong over here because we made it to lap 5 before seeing a yellow.
And we did, and the accident, honestly, I mean, it was just a typical super speedway. I mean, right here, I mean, you got Blair right here in the 46, just comes straight down on top of the 43 over in turn 3, and then everybody just gets stacked up and just gets clobbered. I mean, it's typical super speedway action. I mean, but it's still new, I guess you could say, for viewers at home, because usually when they think Atlanta Motor Speedway, they think old asphalt. They think, beat up asphalt, chunks of asphalt coming out or whatever. They're not used to seeing, just brand new smooth asphalt the way that you're seeing. So, it's typical, super speedway. But granted, Joey, just like you said, I mean, they proved us wrong.
And so we haven't talked about the bump drafting aspect too much yet. Now, with this racetrack and this new configuration, as we get into contact, it looks like the 43, the 17 get together going through turns number 3 and 4. And just looking at that, I feel like maybe the 17 came down just a little bit. He felt like he was clear, but definitely not clear on the racetrack. And unfortunately, the 43 didn't have anywhere to go, kept his foot in it, and ended the day. Well, I shouldn't say ended the day, because they got fast repairs. They can always come down and fix that car right back up, get back out on the racetrack. But back to my original point, Jake, drafting. These cars doesn't always line up the bumpers very well. The front bumper is quite low in these cars. The rear bumper is quite high. So when you get into the back of a competitor, try to push them, you actually lift the back wheels off the ground.
Yeah, and anybody, that has seen previous Fast Fridays that we've done here at Maconi Entertainment, a couple of weeks ago, we had the same exact cars running at Michigan, and we saw that numerous times. Guys might get out of shape, have to check up, and then guys right behind them, it's like I've said before, it's basically like a snowplow. You just bury it straight up under the back end of the car and just lift the back tires completely off the ground. So, that's just how this car is. That's just how, that the model of it is. Basically from an ARCA car standpoint as far as the templates go and everything. But, you will see some bump drafting. You will see some of the guys that are going to be able to go up there and just lightly push those guys. Not like you would see in the next gen cars where they literally just slam straight into the back of them. These guys are going to have to be precise if they want to do that bump drafting and not give it too much gas and jump it straight up, basically up their back end, and spin them straight out.
Oh my goodness, we're gonna have drama here in Atlanta, and I think it's gonna all be from bump drafting, isn't it? And you never know when it can go wrong, because you get the confidence when you get squared up and you get the huge run helping out your buddy, and then you go to it the next time, and all of a sudden he's just spinning off to the inside or outside of the racetrack. But we're about to see who's the next victim, as Joey Masevich leads the field, steps on the gas, goes up through the gears, and we're green flag one more time. He's got a really nice jump down on that bottom lane. We're already seeing some cars move down low. I believe that was Cody Giles, Mark Jackson. Now Daniel Molnick's transitions down to the low lane.
And I think everybody's really wanting to just try to get it single file right here. Maybe not, as we're going to have another caution on the speedway. Thought everybody kind of wanted to try to keep it straight, just keep it single file. But let some guys in the back try to make a move maybe, and that's what brought out this yellow flag.
Yeah, looks like maybe this involves a few cars here. I believe this is the number 50 of Sheldon Hill involved in this one. I believe Sheldon gets into the back of the 069 car. Watch the white and blue car. He just gets into the back of the Trojan car. Haha. And unfortunately, turns around a few of them.
Yeah, gets into the back of the Trojan car, kind of jacks him up just a little bit, if you want to put it into that sense. But anyway, I mean, and we talked about it right there just a second ago with how the nose is on these cars. You saw it right there when he hit him. He basically pushed the back end straight up. I mean, it just plowed right up under it, lifted the back tires off of the ground. And then at that point, as I've said before, you're at, the guy that's got you jacked up, you're at his mercy on where he turns. If he turns to the right, the back end's going to turn to the right and you're going to go around. If you go to the left, it's just going to push your front end towards the wall and you're going to go straight into the fence.
A good analyzation, and you're right. We just saw what we were talking about on display, and looks like we will go lights out. So we're going to go back to green flag racing pretty quickly on the racetrack. But before we go back to green flag racing, I want to mention something. www.MaconiSetupShop.com. If you guys have never gone there, please go there. They are the home for setups, paint schemes, coaching, broadcasting, event promotion, and more on the iRacing service. And look, they're even the official setup shop of eNASCAR. So if you want to go shave your lap time, if you want to go pick up your pace out there on the racetrack, they offer everything under the sun to help you improve here on iRacing. Once again, go to that website, www.MaconiSetupShop.com. Subscriptions available as low as $8 a month. Well, Jake, we got the lights out. We're going to be rounding up out of turn 4 here. It's the same old Joey Masevich out front. He's got buddy William Hale joining. I've noticed Brandon Evans is making his way through the field. Why don't you take us back to green flag?
But Joey Masevich, we've seen him when he gets up front, he is trying to check out. That would be the old Atlanta you would love to check out, but this super speedway package is going to keep them close. Green flag in the air, Masevich on the gas. William Hale actually staying right with him, not like it was off of that last restart. So Hale's going to stay right beside of him, too wide right here. And then Hale may try to see if he can sneak in here. Molnick's going to try to jump up and block that to where Hale does not have to jump in behind his teammate Masevich. Look like Molnick's, look like Molnick's is going to be able to shove him past William Hale. Masevich is going to keep the lead.
Yeah, Masevich with the help of Molnick's on the bottom, but now it's Malone starting to push Hale on the top end, and look at the run from the top. We were getting some awesome onboard shots from Jeff Maconi during the restart, and look at where Jeff is. He's the 4th car in the top lane right there, so he's made up quite a bit of ground, up 11 positions, and he's going to jump to the top. 3 wide, try to take it around Atlanta, but unfortunately he doesn't have anybody back behind him to help push with that run. He's going to have to come up with a new way around.
And we talked to Jeff actually before this race, Joey, and he was actually saying that he kind of wanted to just ride at the back. Very, very curious now that he's sitting there talking about riding at the back. Now he's all the way up to 8th, but he wanted to ride at the back and let these guys sort all this out and try to get this straightened out and let these guys do what they got to do. It looks like they already have, because we are under another yellow flag.
I'm seeing Adam Burbeyer back here, I believe. And this was into turn 1. This is the black 03 car with the red numbers. See exactly what happens. He is looking down the inside of an area 3 wide here. Oh, you know what? I think that he just thought he was too wide here. Jake decided to come up the racetrack up off of turn 2, but he was not only 2 wide, but he was 3 wide.
Yeah, that's exactly what it looks like. I mean, he just came straight up, thought he was clear. And, from a driver's perspective on that, you may hear your spotter sit there and say that you're clear when you are most certainly not clear. And that's happened to me actually a couple of times, but you see obviously way not clear. I mean, it looked like that other driver's tire was lined up, his front tire was lined up with his back tire, and just sent him straight around. I mean, wild spin right there, literally all 4 tires off the ground at one point. So hopefully he's still got a faster pair that he's going to be able to try to use right here and get him back in this.
awesome shots of this replay. And I mean, look at the speeds that they're going just even on these restarts. They're already wound up very fast and not a whole lot of places to go when the car starts spinning out right in front of you. So great avoidance from everybody who was able to turn, avoid, hit the brakes, avoid, do whatever they needed to avoid that wreck. And we are lights out on the pace car. Actually getting a little bit of a different restart here. I was noticing that Joey Masevich was lined up down low. William Hale was lined up top, but looks like Masevich, our leader, has said, I want the top lane.
Yeah, and that might actually be a little bit of teamwork going on right there with Masevich and Hale. Hale is actually also a sponsored driver with Maconi Setup Shop, so maybe they're trying to work together right here. And, you know, when Masevich is able to go, Hale can actually lift out of the gas just a little bit and then let Masevich get down. That way they can just get too wide and get linked up and see if they can try to break away.
One more time, the pace car pulls off of the racetrack. We'll see if we can break our record of 5 green flag consecutive laps here at Fast Fridays. And Masevich jumps on the gas one more time. A huge jump, huge comparison to last time. It is William Hale now second place. Daniel Molnick's also trying to push him. Looks like Jacob Malone is going to have to get settled in, get into the train, or he's going to get swallowed up by Joshua Crane and company.
Yeah, but it looks like he's actually going to be able to slide back down. And once again, looks like we have another caution. Big hit right there. Oh, we actually got one upside down. I believe that was the 21 car. I believe that was Shane Ferguson, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, this is the red number 21. Once again, just coming down on a car. That was the number 1 car of Mark Jackson going into turn 1. He was clearly on the bottom side of the racetrack, but unfortunately, oh, there's the big impact you were looking for.
Yeah, I mean, I think honestly, from what it looked like, I think, you know, Ferguson was thinking, you know, maybe the 1 was going to check up just a little bit and let him get down. But then you see the hit right, bam! I mean, just huge hit. Flips him completely on his lid. So if he had a fast, I mean, you're going to see it right here, folks. This right here, Sheldon Hill just trying to catch back up to the field. He sees the 21. 21 just jumps straight up, bam! And then, you know, Hill right there obviously lost steering, got a blown engine out of that, a meatball flag, if you will. Just cannot control the car, and straight into the fence he went.
Unfortunately, Sheldon Hill, I believe, had already used his fast repair, so disconnect for that car. And all right, I might have cursed us. I seem that whenever we're talking here, Jake, we are getting yellow flag laps. So you know what we're going to do here for this restart? We're going to build it up a little bit. We're going to say, hey, you know what? It's been the usual out front. We got Masevich and Hale. We do have a new player here, though. The number 41, Joshua Crane. I noticed I haven't mentioned his name, but a couple minutes ago, he's up 10 positions. Started 13th back there, so he's up into the 3rd, 4th place. Daniel Molnix and Cody Giles also make up the top 5, but we are gonna do a nice loud crank it up here on this restart, right along with a few different cars as we go up through the gears here at Atlanta Motor Speedway for Fast Friday. And maybe the heck will be lifted for this yellow flag filled race, and we'll have finally some nice green flag racing on our hands. Well, we're gonna round out of turn 4. You see that pace car dive down off onto the pit lane. Time to turn up those speakers. disaster on the racetrack.
Oh my goodness, and everybody right behind them getting in this as well. Big pileup right there. Macevich leading at one point and then gets turned by his teammate William Hale.
Oh my goodness, I thought we had brought the Ken energy and we were going to be drama free on the racetrack, but you see the 62 just get too aggressive with his push on the number 9, turns our leader in front of the entire field. And I mean, when you do that, just it's going to be a huge wreck in this style of racing. And I've been watching William Hale. He has been getting more aggressive with the pushes. Just think he got maybe to the bumper a little too early here.
Well, honestly, I mean, yeah, I agree with you on that. I mean, you don't want to push in the corners at all, because this right here is exactly what is going to happen. You can push on the straightaways. You just can't push in the turns or even up in the turns. Same thing at Talladega and Daytona in these cars as well. The next gens are about the only car, with the exception of the Xfinity of the trucks, if you can do it right, you can bump draft in the turns. But that's at Daytona, that's at Talladega, this is Atlanta. It doesn't matter what car you're in, you're not pushing in the turns, because that right there is exactly what's going to happen.
A whole bunch of broken cars, tire smoke, oil, coolant, fluids all over the racetrack. Thankfully, our virtual marshals get it cleaned up ASAP out there. Look at that, already a beautiful racetrack on our hands, and the pace car lights are out. That means our race admins, that is Jeff Maconi, by the way, folks, he's in the race. Not only is he racing right now, he's in the lead of the race, and he's also running race control. So juggling quite a few things inside the number 03 or the number 11, depending on which timing board you're looking at. And he's actually pretty banged up right now. We had some takers come down pit road. You see our leader kind of a little skewed on the back and the front end of the car, but he's going to dictate our restart. Green flag here at Fast Fridays. Click it off to lap number 24 of 60, just early of halfway so far.
And with him having that back end with damage, it's not going to affect Jeffrey Maconi as much as it would with the front of the car. He's still going to be at full power. He just may be a little bit slower with the aerodynamics, as you see right here, the outside lane, making moves, trying to get around Jeffrey Maconi. Like I said, he's not going to be hurt with power. He's still going to have all the power in the world. But you mentioned it right there, Joey. You see the right front looks like it's caved in a little bit. The back right caved in a little bit. Cody Giles goes around him as we have another caution on Speedway.
This is William Hale. Well, when it rains, it pours, because if you remember, William Hale was the one who turned Joey Macevich and brought out the previous yellow flag. Now, he's a little bit further back in the pack. Lots more variables. He's 3 wide coming up out of turn number 4, almost 4 wide. Yeah, just unfortunately, this is what happens when you're in the back of the pack. Some of the cars aren't on the same page as you. Believe he was expecting the number 43 to cut the D-shaped oval a little bit more than what he did, and the 43 decided not to. And unfortunately, I'm just going to boil that down to miscommunication on the track.
Yeah, I mean, with the rules package that they have now at Atlanta Super Speedway, I guess the way we can call it, with NASCAR, you can't go below that red line. That's like the out of bounds line at Talladega and Daytona. Same thing here, but this is iRacing. They don't flag you for it. They don't flag you to go below that line to improve your position or to even miss a record, anything like that. So you're not going to get black flagged for it. It's basically a courtesy with iRacing. It's basically one of those unwritten laws of, drivers taking care of one another, not going below that line. So, I think that's exactly what Hale thought he was going to do. Granted, obviously, he wasn't going to get busted for anything like that, so he thought that the 43 was going to go below that line, give him a little bit of room. But, Hale, we've seen how fast his car has been. Obviously, he was up front with Macevich. trying to make moves up there at the front and get caught up in that wreck. So we know he's fast. I just think everybody's just getting a little bit too aggressive here. Still early, not even halfway in this race.
No, not even halfway, and I'm actually looking at the timer. The timer is starting to catch up and overtake. So we have a lap limit, but there's also a time limit here on the race. Kind of think of it as daylight hours. Take away all those giant poles with the lights on them. Pretend they're not there. And there is a time limit, and right now they're about even. However, if we continue to have the yellow flags, we're going to run more into the time limit, and we're not going to be able to complete the 60 laps that are out on the racetrack that you could get in terms of track time. So, drivers, if you're listening out there, if we can get some green flag laps going, we can get all 60 done here at Fast Friday for Maconi Setup Shop. Our lap count leader, the pace car, pulls off onto pit road. This time, Cody Giles stands on the throttle, gets the nice big jump. We're back, green flag racing.
He gets a big jump right here. Looks like Chase Willis is going to get it going on the outside. Try to get around Owen right here. Maybe even bring Billy Ricky with him. Trying to get around on that outside. You see him back there with the 24 Jeff Gordon looking paint scheme, but on scoring time and him being the 33. So it looks like Cody Giles looks like he's not in that bad a shape from what his car looks like. But some of these other guys look like their cars is basically beat all to hell. So if Cody's got his car straightened out, he might be okay, or maybe not. Looks like Chase Willis. He's going to see if he can take it to the front here at Atlanta.
Oh, and we're 3 wide through turns 1 and 2 for the lead inside the top 5. Cody Giles down on the bottom groove. Chase Willis is the car up top. Then you got Toll Owen as well as Donald Sadusky as well. Dave Olivieri in the top 5. Dave, we haven't mentioned him at all. Look at this number 01 car. Jake, if I had to tell you, do you think he started back in 2017? He's up in the top 5.
And some of these guys are using that strategy right there, Joey, waiting for these guys to make all the moves and wreck themselves. Basically, that's what he has did. I'm not sure if he's used his fast repair. Maybe he hasn't with the strategic moves that he is making. Obviously, 27 up to 5th. And then check this out. Billy Rickett, he was one of those guys started 23rd all the way up here in the 6th spot as they go 3 wide for the lead. With Giles down on the bottom lane. Looks like Chase Willis is stuck up top. Looks like Sadusky is going to be able to get hold of this lead, but it's not over yet. Giles trying to get back to it.
Daniel Molnick splits them up through the middle, up into the 3rd place. So he's going to go up there and try to help push that black and red Cody Giles machine. Ooh, looks like Chase Willis maybe got a little piece of the wall coming up off of turn 4, loses a bunch of momentum and track position. However, no spin on the racetrack. We stay green flag racing, and I still have my eye on that 01 Dave Olivieri, okay? So he did a fantastic job coming up out of the gas to avoid a competitor. We are 3 wide for the lead. I'm sorry. This is between Sadusky, Molnick, and Giles up front. This is the racing we've been waiting for.
This is absolutely the racing that you will see at Atlanta Motor Speedway in the real time. That is why the fans, a lot of fans are really excited to see this happen. A lot of people speculated whether or not this track being repaved would live up to its name, and I'm telling you right now, it damn sure has, because Molnick's made that move, got around Giles. Now Giles trying to see if he can stick it back on the inside battle up front.
And, you know, if you guys think you're seeing a ghost, it is not. That is Joey Masevich, our leader that got turned in front of the entire field. He's made his way back up into the 6th place position. He's going to draft right on by. I believe that's Billy Rickett down low, down the back straightaway. He's the 4th car in line up top. What a comeback drive from Joey Masevich.
Savage, we've seen him do a lot of crazy things in Super Speedway. Seen him do a very good one a while back at Talladega, shoving Jeffrey Maconi to a Fast Fridays win at Talladega. So Savage knows how to get around some super speedway racing, especially at Talladega, and showing them how to do it here in Atlanta. We're getting caught up with William Hill, like you said, now trying to get up here and get this outside lane rolling. Molnick still leading right now. Giles looks like, or excuse me, Cody Giles trying to see if he can sneak back up as they go 3 wide per second with Thaddeus Marshall and Sadowski. Sadowski stuck in the middle, Marshall stuck up high.
Yeah, this is some intense racing at the front of this pack, just, inches away, trying to clear himself off at turn number 2. And I believe, yeah, we are going to be another fight for the lead. This is Thaddeus Marshall getting pushed by Joey Masevich, and it's Daniel Molnick trying to hang on to it down low. Jeff Maconi has also entered this battle, and not only has Joey Masevich had a fantastic comeback drive, but I'm noticing Brandon Evans also knocking on the door. He's in the top 10, just the kind of the caboose on this lead pack.
He is another driver within the the Maconi Setup Shop stable right here with that beautiful U.S. Army paint scheme. A little bit of a throwback, I guess you could say, to Jerry Nadeau, Joe Nemechek in these beautiful Gem 4 cars. Brandon Evans trying to slide up here and be able to help his teammates out. Get up there with Jeffrey Maconi and obviously get up there with Masevich. Try to see if they can get something going and try to get around the 2-car Daniel Molnick, who looks like he's got this thing under wrap, but maybe not. Here comes Masevich up top with Thaddeus Marshall. They're going to try to make a run on the top and see if they can dethrone Daniel Molnick.
I like Brandon Evans' strategy right now. He sees how crazy this is getting up front. Joey Masevich took it 3 wide into turn 1 for the lead that last time around, and they are constantly swapping positions, looking up in the middle, trying to find clean air. And I think Brandon Evans is just hanging maybe 5 cars back from this, knowing that it's just kind of a ticking time bomb. It's not what is going to happen, but it's when it's going to happen.
It's going to happen, honestly. I mean, Joey, we've seen all the wrecks that's happened, but, you know, obviously we've seen what can happen. I mean, it's like I've said before, you know, it's Newton's law. Anything that can happen, excuse me, that's Murphy's law. Anything that can happen will happen. And we've seen it happen. We know it's going to happen. That's exactly what Brandon Evans is waiting on, is it to happen once again. But check this out, Jeffrey Maconi actually going by his teammate, Cody Giles. Or maybe not. Looked like he actually was going to try to go around him. So Maconi trying to muster something up on this top lane. Maybe try to get up there and start battling it out. Try to get up there and help Savage get around Molnick, because it looks like Molnick is doing it all by himself with Josh McCrane back there lurking. But, I mean, it looks like he's trying to do it all by himself. But check out Savage. He's literally all by himself. No help whatsoever. And he's making it work as you see him side draft Molnick and try to pull him back.
Now, when you hop in these cars in this racetrack, you go out there, you can probably hold it wide open. Oh, a little bit of a door rub between our 2 leaders going into turn number 1. But when you put 20 laps, oh, we got a yellow flag on the racetrack. I believe Gary Flynn in the number 5, maybe with a couple issues on the racetrack. I see him a little bit slower than the rest. See and check what happened to him. But get this awesome replay here of exactly what happened to Gary Flynn here, Jake.
Yeah, it looked like, I mean, Gary just maybe checked up just a little bit, and like the 01 just kind of got into the back of him and just turned him around. And, you know, they was all fixing to close right up on a gaggle of cars. And that's exactly, as you're going to see it right here, Gary going in on the bottom lane. You see the 01 of a livery right here, and bam, just gets him straight into the left rear and just turns him straight around. And looks like he got into the fence pretty hard up in turn 1 and 2. So hopefully he's still got a faster pair able to get himself lined up. But Joey, I'm going to tell you right now, it's crunch time now. 43 laps in the books, 18 laps to go right now with Molnick up here leading. Masevich going to be in second. You got Cody Giles, Brandon Evans, all of them back there. I mean, they may have something to try to get up there and get a hold of Molnick.
Well, you're going to see it. Molnick stayed out on the racetrack, and Joey Masevich brought the entire field down to pit road. So I feel like the number 2 is going to be a sitting duck on the restart. He is just going to be pretty much in trouble unless he comes down and takes a new set of tires and then has to restart at the end of the field. I was going to make a point that when you come out here and race this car in track combination, you can hold it wide open, but when you put 20 laps on the tires, we saw it firsthand. The drivers are having to lift going into these corners here at Atlanta, and that's due to these cars. They don't have nearly as much downforce as these new machines. They don't have as much grip. Couple that with the power that they're making. It's pretty cool to see them have to lift, but Daniel Molnix, he's going to have to lift off the throttle to make it around the corners. Everybody else, they're on fresh tires right now.
Yeah, he's going to be in a little bit of a hole, I guess you could say, right here with his old tires. Daniel Molnix, the past 2 races here on Fast Fridays that he has been in, he's won those races. Bristol and Michigan being in this exact car. So I don't know what he's thinking right here. Maybe he knows something that we do not. But with them having the fresher tires that's going to be right here behind Molnix, as you see now. Wow, I mean, this is a crazy strategy right here.
No, this is what I was talking about is Molnix realized he's a sitting duck out there. He realized he's more of a hazard to stay out on old tires. He's got absolutely no shot at staying at the front. So, unfortunately, he's got to come clean up his messy room, take his tires, swallow his medicine, and start at the back.
Well, but we have seen Molnix make some very daring moves to get to the front. I mean, he's not at the front for nothing. I mean, let's not count out that 2 car. Granted, he's going to be stuck around maybe 18th, 19th. There's 19 cars that's left on the lead lap. So we've seen how he can get to the front. He's been there, and he knows how to get there. But 15 laps to go when we take the green rares, Joe. It's going to be a short time. Hopefully he doesn't get caught up in any type of wreck trying to get there.
Well, I'm going to bring back up the old Maconi Setup Shop tweet. Okay, so we were talking about Can of Energy earlier this morning, or more specifically, Jake was talking about the Can of Energy, and we've got a pair of Maconi Setup Shop drivers up at the front. And if you guys are listening right now, if you're watching Fast Friday, if you had to choose between Jeff Maconi and Joey Masevich in terms of who's got the best Ken Energy, who would it be? That number 03 or the number 9? I want to see it in the comments, in the chats here, because I have a feeling whoever's got the bigger Ken Energy right now is going to take the lead on this restart. I'm seeing 1 vote right now. I think that's a vote for Joey Masevich in the chat here, but looks like Jeff Maconi is actually going to get the jump. He's got the bigger Ken Energy right now, and he's got a huge gap between himself and Joey Masevich. Thaddeus Marshall up top, as well as Donald Sadusky and Mark Jackson in the top 5.
Well, anybody different than Joey Masevich coming up right here to try to get to Jeffrey Maconi. If it was anybody else, Maconi would be a sitting duck because they would just go straight around him. But Masevich, being a teammate, being a sponsored driver with Maconi Setup Shop, that's going to help Jeff right there out tremendously to make sure that he's getting some help right there. Because I'm telling you, like I said, if it had been anybody else, he'd been a sitting duck. Every single one of them would have just went straight around him and hung him out to dry. So I think that all worked out to perfection with having a teammate right there. But look at Sadusky, look at Marshall, Thaddeus Marshall, all these guys starting to work that top. You see a little bit of bump drafting right here where Marshall can't be pushing into the corners. They're causing big wreck. So Marshall and Sadusky trying to see if they can dethrone these 2 MSS cars here in Atlanta.
And not only are the Maconi Setup Shop cars lined up down low 1 and 2, but Mark Jackson kind of just the middle of the sandwich. You got Brandon Evans down low as well, I believe. So I think he's kind of trying to go join the party back there and just trying to get himself up in the mix after a few bad incidents earlier. And you see the concentration from Brandon Evans trying to paint that line down low on the racetrack, stay off of any of the cars up top. And if you ever wondered what it's like to go super speedway racing, well, here's 185 miles an hour, inches off of the bumper going into turn 1.
And you see right there in Brandon Evans' eyes, you can see him right there coming off turn 4, how focused he is. You have to be that focused here at Atlanta Super Speedway, however you want to call it. You see how focused he is, ready to pounce if anything happens, to be able to try to get around it or try to be able to make a move. He's just ready to pounce on anything that he can do. But I'm telling you, the battle is heating up front with Sadowski and Maconi. Marshall back there pushing Sadowski, and it looks like Masevich still trying to shove Jeffrey Maconi, trying to get clear of these 2 top cars.
Well, I've noticed the number 2 cars in line are starting to get more aggressive. I'm talking about Marshall in the bright yellow number 4, as well as Masevich in this red and white Dodge right in front of you. They're both trying to push their line up front. And oh, a little bit of a slip up here for Mark Jackson. You saw him go up about a half a lane. That's kind of a little bit of a danger, because directly to his right side is Joshua Crane. There you see him in picture.
And Crane is trying to keep him down there, maybe try to get Jackson out of the gas, maybe even try to get himself clear of Jackson, and maybe jump down with the 2 MSS cars. That way maybe he can try to help this inside lane. In fact, you see Jackson slide way up almost into the same lane that Crane was in. Wow, I'm telling you, if I'm Crane right now, I'm trying to get around that 1 car as any way possible. Go to the top, go to the back, whatever, because I'm telling you, here in the next couple of laps, that 1 is going to start sliding up, and eventually something's going to happen.
Well, the same thing is kind of happening to Maconi. He's sliding up into Donald Sadowski up front, kind of having a battle of the worn tires right now. Let's see if Mark Jackson is able to keep it on the bottom side, and 1 and 2 a little bit more stable this time. But who's going to give the bigger push going down the back straightaway? Look at the momentum from Thaddeus Marshall, giving a huge shove.
Big time shoving. You're going to see Masevich try to get back to Jeffrey Maconi's back bumper, try to give him that shove as well. You can't deny it right here, folks. This is the type of racing that the Atlanta Motor Speedway, this is what we've been waiting on all race long, is to get this good racing right here. We had a couple of cautions earlier on in the race, but everything got thinned out. Now it's a 7 lap, coming to 6 laps to go. It's a shootout all the way to the end.
Oh, Thaddeus Marshall gets up into the wall. Unfortunately, that's going to kill his momentum, and probably also kill the momentum of Donald Sadowski up in the top lane, unless he comes and gets help from Joshua Crane, which he does. And look at Brandon Evans elbow his way into another position. He's actually 3 wide, 2 wide, coming up off of turn number 4, squeezed in the middle. Mark Jackson to his right, and I think that's Hewling Cowser down low. We haven't mentioned Hewling at all today.
Yeah, we have not, and he's been very, very methodical of where he's been trying to go. Started 12th all the way up to 7th place. Side-by-side battle right now with Brandon Evans, but check this out. Sadowski still trying to get this top lane working, doing everything he can. Crane sliding around all over the place right behind Sadowski. 5 laps to go. Is anybody got anything for Jeffrey Maconi or Joey Masevich?
I'm just waiting for the one time the push gets to be a little bit too heavy and we pick up some rear wheels off the ground and we have another wreck on our hands. But Joey Masevich has been really good to just try to stay hooked up as close to the bumper of Jeff Maconi as he possibly can. Try not to give too many big shoves, but more stay well organized to the back. And look at this, it allows some big time runs, but the number 41 of Joshua Crane, he's trying to go and upset this party. We're going to be coming to 3 laps to go.
3 to go, and Crane is there trying to shove Sadowski at that lap right there. I believe, yes, Sadowski led that lap right there by 2/100ths of a second over Jeffrey Maconi, but still with 3 to go. Now Maconi gets the run down on the bottom. Help from Masevich. Sadowski tried to get Crane to push him as well. And check out Hewling Cowser getting up in the middle of this top 5 as he's going to slide almost into Crane off of turn 4 as they come to 2 to go.
2 to go, and we also have the number 2 of Daniel Molnix joining the party from the back end. Remember, he had to take that medicine, swallow that pill, come down and start at the back, but he also has fresh tires just like everybody else. He's trying to come up here and steal away a Fast Friday win, but Hewlin-Kauser decides to make it 3 wide going down into turn number 3 below Joey Masevich. Good organization from Maconi to stick with his teammate, but this opens up the door. Here we go, folks. White flag, 3 by 3 to start the top 6 at Atlanta Motor Speedway. 1 to go. Joey Masevich getting squeezed in the middle, but his boss, Jeff Maconi, staying loyal to that Maconi Setup Shop teammate. Who's going to come down the back straightaway with the win? It's Sadusky up top, Maconi in the middle, Kauser down low, and now we got a spin on the racetrack. This is going to open up the door. Hewlin-Kauser has nobody to compete. He's going to take the win.
Big time move right there by Hewlin-Kauser. We've seen him go all the way down to the apron right there to take the white flag. Looked like Maconi may have slid up into Sadusky just a little bit. Masevich wasn't able to check up and be able to keep him at bay. But wow, Hewlin-Kauser making the move, going to the bottom, and had a little bit of help back there. I believe that was Cody Giles that was back there helping him. Big time right now. Hewlin-Kauser, congratulations. You are a Fast Fridays winner.
What a finish. I mean, we've had some tremendous races here at Fast Friday, but I don't think we've crossed the line with 1 to go with 3 by 3 by 3 to start it. Let's listen to these victory donuts. Well, and what we're going to do right here is we're going to take a quick break, catch our breath after that finish, be back with the official results and some post-race interviews for you all.
When you want to be the best, you can't settle for the rest. For anything on iRacing, there's just one name you need: Maconi.
With the launch of Maconi Entertainment and Maconi Competizone alongside Maconi Setup Shop, we now provide the best of the best in setups, paint schemes, coaching, broadcasting, and event organization.
With cars across all 4 license classes, we have what you need to hit the track with confidence. Grab a subscription and save money while going fast at MaconiSetupShop.com/subscriptions.
And remember, at Maconi Setup Shop, there are setups, but your victories.
Well, I'm still trying to catch my breath over here. This is the last 2 laps at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Jake, talk us to this incredible through 3 wide racing.
Yeah, I mean, Masevich right here is, I mean, you talked about it a while ago, trying to help Jeffrey Maconi. You see Kauser back there, he sticks his nose in on that bottom lane right there. He had help from Giles. And you see him right here, everybody's sliding straight up the track. Everybody's tires getting worn out, that right front starting to wear. And then here goes Kauser. Looked like he may have threw a little bit of a door check, maybe not. Got real tight right there with Masevich. And then you see Kauser at this point, I mean, it's white flag, game on. Maconi not knowing where really to go. Obviously, he's going to try to stick with Masevich. Molnick's back there trying to help this middle lane advance. And then you see it right here going into 3. Maybe it was a little bit of a bad push, maybe from Masevich. Maybe Maconi just slid up and got just a little bit tight. And then chaos ensued behind them. And Kauser on the bottom with Cody Giles able to sneak away. And Hewlin-Kauser is a Fast Fridays winner.
I think you were right. I think Maconi maybe just slid up a little bit, and that's what caused Masevich to get up underneath and, I don't know, create the spin a little bit. But ultimately, it was the 0-4 of Hewlin-Kauser down on the bottom of the racetrack coming through with a Fast Friday victory. Cody Giles here in 2nd place. Jeff Maconi does finish in 3rd. Joshua Crane 4th. Donald Sadusky here in 5th. Christina Myers all the way up to 6th place. A pretty good run for Christina, up 22 positions. And I'm looking through my timing and scoring here. Yes, the number 26 is our biggest mover. Started 28th, finished 6th place. Billy Rickett 7th, Thaddeus Marshall 8th, Toll Owen in 9th, and Mark Jackson complete the top 10.
And then going to be coming home in 11th after all that. Brandon Evans tried to make that move, was up front trying to go for that win. Evans going to finish 11th. Daniel Mornings up there also battling with it's going to end that winning streak for himself. Finish 12th. Joey Masevich going to be 13th. Looks like Daniel Kirkiel is going to be 14th, with Stephen Bennett going to be 15th. Then Robert Atkins, Nathan Gibson, Patrick Walsh, Gary Flynn, the first one lap down in 19th, and Greg Pillar is going to be 20th.
Yeah, Greg Pillar was actually the last car to actually take the checkered flag. The rest of the competitors, DNFs on the racetrack. We did have 34 cars start here at Fast Friday and turn a time. So like I said, thank you to everybody. You are the ones that make Fast Friday a success. So please keep coming back every Fast Friday here at Maconi Setup Shop. And looks like we've got a few interviews waiting for us. And we're going to start off with our race winner, Hewling Kauser. Congratulations.
Hey, thank you. That means a lot. First Fast Friday win.
Well, talk me through the last 2 laps, because we've had tremendous racing here, but I don't think we've crossed the line twice with 3 wide, and then you ultimately came home with the checkered flag.
Well, I was going on the front straightaway. I saw a gap open up by the 9, and I saw they kind of went high on the front straightaway. I took the gap, and I stuck with it throughout the entire rest of a few couple laps.
Well, and that's ultimately what it was the gap. Were you worried with nobody really there to help push you like Joey Masevich was pushing Jeff Maconi? Were you worried that somebody was going to be able to draft by you, or were you confident in the low lane?
I was actually pretty worried, kind of unconfident in it, but I just held my line and stuck with it throughout the entire race. Throughout the entirety of the rest of it.
Well, Hewling, like I said, congratulations on the win here. And you got to be stoked with your first Fast Friday win. Is this your first broadcast win?
It is yes, it is my first broadcasted win.
Awesome, man. Well, congratulations, dude.
Thank you so much. It means a lot.
Well, while we have you here, is there anybody you want to give a shout out to?
My grandparents and my family for hooking me up with some unique stuff here to race with, and my grandparents for getting me into NASCAR.
Well, that is a great shout out. Happy win to Hewling Kauser. Congratulations once again.
Thank you.
All right. Well, that was our winner in the 0-4, and it looks like we actually have, let's see who we got next here. It looks like we've got Cody in second place, standing by with Jake Reeves.
Yeah, this is Cody Giles. Cody Giles, you got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Cody, it looked like you was rolling pretty good right there with Kauser. I mean, did you have that mindset when he went straight to the bottom that was basically your only shot, or was you going to try to go up there, obviously being a sponsored driver with Maconi Setup Shop? Did you think to try to jump up there and maybe help Masevich and Maconi, or was your mindset just straight just to help Hewling Kauser right there?
I mean, I thought that both the middle and top lanes were pretty much covered. So the only gap that I really saw at that point was the bottom with Kauser. And so I pretty much took the bottom there going into 3 and 4 and just praying to God something happens. But,
It looked like it happened. I mean, everything happened around you right there, Cody, honestly. So, but, tell everybody, this car, we've seen, drivers push up into other guys. I mean, was it just the fact of these guys over driving the cars, or do you think it may have a little bit to do with the right front tire wear? Because I thought that was exactly what it was just the tires was just wearing out so much on the right front. I mean, was it over driving, or was it just tire wear that was making everybody slide?
it was absolutely the right front. I mean, no question about it. When you go 20 something plus laps on the tires, for me, I never pitted until inside about 5 something to go. So it was pretty much do or die at that point with the tire situation. If you were stuck with the right front being completely destroyed, it's tough to be able to just, when you get fresher tires, you're able to just send it in more and able to stick and it not push. The only problem with the right front issue is where pretty much when the right front is on near destroyed, really, it causes the car to just go completely up the racetrack. So you have to back up corner entry to kind of get anything off the corner, really, to make sure you don't get into another driver or whatever the case may be. So definitely right front issues were causing a lot of people to slide up and stuff like that.
Cody Giles, Cody Giles, excuse me, able to come home with a second place finish here on Fast Fridays. Cody, before I let you go, is there anybody that you would like to thank that made this happen tonight, bud?
Oh, for sure, for sure. I like to first and foremost thank Maconi Setup Shop. That it's a cool opportunity to come in here and showcase what I can do and what kind of driver I am. I appreciate all you guys, of course, doing the broadcast and stuff. I think this is awesome what y'all do every Friday nights. So it's definitely really cool to be able to be in this position at Maconi Setup Shop as a sponsored driver. Fort Worth Scream Esports, Goose Graphics, Veer Motorsports. I could go through a laundry list of people to thank. So it's an awesome and a privilege to be here. So I appreciate you guys, and I appreciate Jeff and Cowser. I want to send a shout out to him. He drove a hell of a race. So good win on him. I think he said he almost won it at Talladega, so that was pretty cool. So seeing him to win tonight, that's pretty awesome.
Cody Giles coming second with Hewlin Cowser getting his very first win on Fast Fridays. Cody, we'll see you down the road, bud.
Yes, sir. Thank you, guys.
Well, we're going to bring in a couple more people, but before we get to talking to them, one of the big reasons why we are all here is Maconi Setup Shop. And if you guys weren't aware, they actually did an awesome thing this past week. They worked out a deal with New Hampshire Motor Speedway, the real world New Hampshire Motor Speedway, and eNASCAR for a giveaway. A fan received tickets, VIP passes, plus $250 for that race. And not only are they doing stuff in the real world, they're also going to be the sponsor of the eNASCAR Coca-Cola iRacing Series event this Tuesday, July 25th. That is called the Maconi Setup Shop 101. So make sure to go to enascar.com/live at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. Catch the pre-race show, and then the race broadcast starts at 9 p.m. Eastern. And we actually have Jeff Maconi in the booth here. How proud of you are of this deal?
I really can't say enough. It's absolutely insane to me that we're sponsoring a NASCAR sanctioned event. I started this company a little over 3 years ago, from like right at the start of COVID. And so I was visiting my parents for spring break, and I started the company from a spare bedroom because, we got an email saying, hey, this coronavirus thing, we don't know what's going on. So the rest of the semester's online, and just absolutely insane to me to see how far it's come. You mentioned the giveaway there. Cordell Lehman and his dad, he's a firefighter up in Maine, actually lives right next to Oxford Speedway. And so they've been going to races there all their life. They'd never been to New Hampshire Motor Speedway. And so he actually purchased one single setup. So there were, you could get up to 5 entries into the event, and he had one single entry, and we had thousands and thousands of entries, and he won it with just one. And so he and his dad got to go up. They got $250 cash. They got tickets to the Tour Mod race, the Xfinity race, and the Cup race. And they got a whole swag bag from New Hampshire Motor Speedway. So thank you to them and that whole team for everything they did. They gave us a couple actually track passes to go and give out to random fans. So I went over to the eNASCAR. They had the eNASCAR fan zone and then the eNASCAR kid zone. So I went into the kid zone and I had 2 track passes and I gave them out to a dad and his kid. It was like an 8-year-old kid. So they got to go down and hang out on the track before the race. And then Cordell and his dad got VIP passes from eNASCAR. So thanks to Ray Smith, the whole eNASCAR team, and the whole team here at Maconi Setup Shop. It's just insane that we got to do that real world giveaway with the track. And then to sponsor the virtual race as well is going to be really cool. The Maconi Setup Shop 101, and it's all possible because of the amazing team that we have at Maconi Setup Shop, Maconi Entertainment, Maconi Competizone. Just everyone that works with me and around me is truly second to none. I really do feel like we've got the best team in sim racing in all of the different categories, in setup building and broadcasting and event management. The team that we have is absolutely incredible. So it's an amazing feeling for sure.
Well, speaking of that team, we're going to bring in Joey Masevich now because we were talking about it with the last couple laps here. You had this pesky white car in front of you. Was he doing more of a hindrance or was he helping you? Were you trying to get him out of the way or were you saying, come on, Jeff, let's go?
Shoot. All I could see was the back of his car, and I knew if I pushed him, we'd have 2 cars linked together, and if I leaped out, I had no assurance that anyone was going with me. So
listen to this guy. Listen to how nice this guy is. Like the kindest way he could talk about the guy who was blocking him.
Blocking? No. If you were blocking, you wouldn't have been leaving the bottom open.
Oh, goodness. See, this is why we love Maconi Setup Shop. It is one big happy family as we watch Masevich really get into the left rear quarter panel of his boss here on the last lap. But
yeah,
hey, guys,
It's my fault.
I love it.
No, it was all me.
Everybody who's watching, this is what these events are all about. Not necessarily the wrecking on the racetrack, but the camaraderie here at Maconi Setup Shop. Everybody's smiling, having a good time at this.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's really cool that we get to do this, and it's so much fun. I love these Fast Fridays because I don't usually win. I very rarely. I think I've one win. Did I win another one? No. But it's just okay, thanks for the reminder. In 2.5 years of running these events, I have 1 win, and it's still the highlight of my week. Every single Friday I look forward to it, and it's amazing. So if you're watching and you haven't come race with us, be sure to come out and run.
And don't forget, it was off the benefit of my front bumper.
Ooh.
That win, yeah, it was.
The boss is picking his team quite strategically. The ones that push him to the wins are the ones that sticking around. And Jeff, to talk about that emotion, there's more than one person, you, with that emotion. Hugh Linkhauser got his first win today. It was his first broadcast win. He was incredibly pumped to get it here on Fast Friday with Maconi Setup Shop. So trust me, if you're thinking about coming out and racing with us, please do it. It is the highlight of the week out here. And I think that it's pretty much going to do it for our broadcast here on Fast Friday. We want to thank tonight's race sponsor, Maconi Setup Shop and Maconi Competizone. Calling the action tonight was myself, Joey Atterbury, alongside Jake Reeves in the booth and Ryan Bauer producing. Thank you to all of our viewers for watching tonight's racing action, and hope you stay tuned to all of our social media pages for our next Fast Friday race. Remember, follow us. You can help vote on what we are going to be racing next week, and also turn us on every Monday night for the Maconi Setup Shop See Fixed series. Well, you know what? Turn us on Tuesday night, too, for that awesome New Hampshire eNASCAR race. This has been a production of Maconi Entertainment. We'll see you at the checkered flag.